Hi and welcome to the first Swiss Fintech Fair Digital and my short video keynote, Swiss Fintech during COVID-19. I'm very happy that you joined the Swiss Fintech Fair Digital. It's great to have you all on board and listening to the keynotes. My name is Urs Häusler, co-founder and board member of the Swiss Finance Startups. I'm passionate about startups and digitalization. I was in the past building up several startups, and in the last 7 years, I also engaged myself very much for the Swiss FinTech and general startup ecosystem to foster Swiss startups, grow entrepreneurship, and to improve the general and political framework for startups in Switzerland. On my daily business work, I'm managing director of Valentic Switzerland. Valentic is a leading digital consulting and development firm. We consult, develop, and implement e-business solutions, from strategy to UI, UX, and design, and to full development from front end to the back end with integration in all existing ERP, CRM backend systems. So, what does Swiss Finance Startups do, and why do we do it? Well, the Swiss Finance Startups is an independent, non-profit startup association run by its members. The mission is to foster the entrepreneurial spirit and a fintech and startup-friendly environment in Switzerland. Swiss Finance Startups was founded in May 2014, so 6 years ago in Zurich, by Christina Kehl, Thomas Brendle, Gianreto Porta, and me. All Swiss fintech startups entrepreneurs. And we've had the goal to create synergies, to join forces, and to drive innovation and change in Switzerland. By now, more than 120 startups and more than 50 partners have already teamed up under the umbrella of Swiss Finance Startups. Together, we foster the common Swiss innovation spirit, and we are at the forefront of the digitalization of the financial industry. So please do join us if you do not have already done yet, and help us to grow to a stronger Swiss fintech ecosystem. How did COVID-19 crisis affect the Swiss fintech community? We've recently asked our members with a survey how COVID-19 hit them and how they have led their startups through the crisis as a startup entrepreneur. Although COVID-19 has hit all industries and all people worldwide, in some cases hit them incredibly hard, we are very happy that most of our Swiss Finance Startup members have not been hit so hard, and they also see opportunities in the crisis, and they were even able to grow their business. 83% of the members questioned stated that they see a great opportunity to add new services in this crisis. The survey shows that fintech startups in Switzerland used the corona period to identify new opportunities and expand their digital offering. Only a few respondents said they were relying on austerity measures during the crisis, and most of them want to invest and increase staff right now. I would like to share a few graphs now with results that came out of the survey. Well, on this slide, you can see that the current applicable hygiene and distance regulations seem to only cause a few problems. Sorry about that. At least in the fintech industries. It causes more problems with me explaining it. Almost 90% of the member companies surveyed stated that a large part or even all of their employees work remotely from their home office. Here you see that 73% of the Swiss Finance Startup members surveyed do not need any financial help by the government, the so-called COVID credit. But 23% had to use short-time work. 64% of the Swiss finance startup members surveyed stated that they are seeing growth or even strong growth during that time of the crisis. Half of the Swiss finance startup members surveyed are expanding their business during the crisis. So new customers, new partners, even new investors. And only 5% said they had to initiate cost-cutting and saving measures. Half of them, 50% of the respondents, stated that they started to hire additional staff, whereas only 5% stated they had to reduce the team due to the crisis. All in all, 82% of the members surveyed stated that they see the crisis as a big to a very big opportunity for fintech. So the Swiss fintech companies have been driving digitalization in the financial sector for years. The COVID-19 pandemic has pushed the demand for digital solutions, which is growing anyway dramatically. The Swiss fintechs recognize a great growth opportunity in the crisis that needs to be seized. And where do we see opportunities for fintech in Switzerland post-COVID? Well, Switzerland has proven to be quite resilient in crisis situations in general, also in COVID-19 crisis. I think the Swiss government and the Federal Council have acted decisively, clearly, and wisely in most times of the COVID-19 crisis so far. After some back and forth and the needed support from many politicians and startup friends, the government even was determined to also help quickly and pragmatically with money for startups that were in financial need. This should encourage entrepreneurs to start their business here in Switzerland. Switzerland is solid, is resilient in crisis, and has a predictable political and financial environment. As a fantastic fintech hub and still a global banking place with international importance, Switzerland is especially interesting for fintech ideas. Banks and insurance incumbents learned in the last couple of months that they have to improve their digital way to interact with clients. This is a great opportunity for fintech startups to start strategic partnerships with banks and insurances. Due to the difficult macroeconomic situation, the whole financial industry will have to become more efficient and is under tremendous cost pressure. This is a large opportunity for fintech companies to provide low-touch B2B services and game-changing processes and game-changing process improvements. And to be in the center of one of the most important and largest banking places in the world, it's great for fintech startups to be in Switzerland. COVID-19 speeds up digitalization efforts of banks, which is good for B2B fintechs. COVID relaxed some of the stiff requirements in banking, which gives more flexibility to introduce new tools, which is again good for B2B fintechs. So it's a great time to start or to continue grow your fintech startup here in Switzerland. What do we think? What are the strong points of fintech in Switzerland? Well, as I already mentioned, and in addition, I think we have outstanding tech talent here. We have one of the best technical university with the EPFL and the ETH and some great other universities. And combined with industry expertise in the financial center, and we have great talent, tech talent and financial talent. And we have a crypto-friendly and stable regulation. And with the Crypto Valley, a great and still growing ecosystem for world-leading blockchain and crypto companies based here in Switzerland. We have great fintech incubators and accelerators based here in Switzerland to help new startups to really start up, push them, mentor them, and help them to grow and later on internationalize outside of Switzerland. So all in all, we have a strong growing ecosystem and proximity of players. So I think it's a great place to build your fintech startup here in Switzerland. If you out there listening to my small little keynote, if you are thinking to come to Switzerland with your startup, then please come to Switzerland and start up here. Well, thank you very much for listening to my short keynote on Swiss FinTech during COVID-19. And I wish you a great day and many good matches and many good keynotes during the day of the Swiss FinTech Fair Digital. Thank you very much and see you soon. Bye-bye.